We good? Okay, want to call to order the Warminster Township reorganization meeting for Monday, January 7th, 2019. Please stand for the pledge. Mr. Crowley, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And can I have a moment of silence for those serving our country, both at home and abroad? Thank you. Okay. Our first item of business tonight is the public comment on, and this is on agenda items only. So if there's any comment from the public, now's the time, because once we get into reorg, we won't be taking comments, so. Okay, no one has any comment? All right, before we move on to election of officers, I want to just tell everyone that I've been in this chair for 3 years, and it's been a great honor and privilege to be in this chair. Sometimes it's been extremely stressful, and sometimes it's been incredibly rewarding. I mean, to go out and give out scholarships and give proclamations at 5Ks and things like that have just been tremendous. But I just want to wish the incoming chair all the best of luck and health. So with that, let's move on with election of officers. Is there a nomination for chair?
I nominate Mr. Crowley.
Is there a second for Mr. Crowley?
Should we do a temporary chair first, Mr. McGee?
We don't really need to, to be honest.
Okay.
We don't really need to. All right. I'll second that motion. Is there any other nominations for chair? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Mr. Crowley, congratulations and good luck. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Not on TV. Thank you, Mr. McKee. Thank you, fellow board members, for the honor of being chosen to lead you this year. Before we get on to the next agenda item, I do want to take a moment to recognize Mr. McKee. For the past 3 years, Mr. McKee has led this Board of Supervisors. It has been a very trying time. It has been a very difficult time in Warminster's history. Yet, there has been many successes over the past 3 years, especially economically. Many of those successes can be tied back to Mr. McKee's leadership and vision in terms of how to increase our business opportunities and our business community. He enacted reforms that were unpopular, and he won't say this publicly, but cost him personally. Yet he saw them through to the end. And while Mr. McKee may no longer be this chair, I am very glad that Mr. McKee is still on this board and able to help us through what is going to be another challenging year. But I just wanted to say thank you, Mark, for everything you did.
Thank you.
All right, so now we'll move on with the election of the vice chair. Let's see. May we have nominations for vice chair of the Board of Supervisors?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr. McPhillips.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
You need a second.
Do we need a second on that?
No, not on nominations, you actually don't.
Oh, okay.
But thank you. I'm going to need that help along the way. Seeing no other nominations, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr.
Over? I could slide right on down the end.
Okay, moving on, we now would like to do appointments of secretary and treasurer. For the secretary, are there any nominations for the position of secretary?
I'd like to nominate Kathy Frescatore.
I'll second that, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right.
I don't need a second.
Okay, any other nominations? None?
No.
Seeing none, call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Congratulations, Kathy.
Thank you.
And we'd like to now also appoint the assistant secretary. I jumped ahead. Is there any nominations?
And Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Mr. Schuster.
Seconds?
Second?
Second?
All right. All in favor of Mr. Schuster as assistant secretary?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Congratulations, Mr. Schuster. Let's move on to treasurer. May I have a nomination for the position of treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Mr. McKee.
Thank you, Mr. McPhillips. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Ms. Frescatore? Any other nominations? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Congratulations, Mr. McKee. Assistant treasurer, could we get a nomination?
I'd like
for
to nominate Mr. Monroe. for Assistant Treasurer.
Okay. And is there a second?
I'd like to second that.
All right. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. All right. Moving right along. Township Solicitor.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Frank Bartle of Bartle, Dishel, and Dooley. Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir.
You second that?
All right. We have a first and a second. Call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Chair votes aye.
With a slight comment. Just comment, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I apologize.
When we hired Frank, we put out an RFP, and we interviewed several different law firms, and the board decided on Frank, and I, for one, as you know, was very happy with Frank, the service he provided. I think it would be prudent if we took that same course of action, where we put out RFPs, and we looked at our different professionals, and we had a comparison, as opposed to just one different professional for each position. So I would think that, in my opinion, that the wise thing to do to get the best bang for our taxpayers is to put our RFPs for the remaining professionals and see if we can get the best price for the best service.
Thank you, Mr. McPhillips. Any other comment?
No.
All right. We did vote on solicitor already, right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
I apologize for not asking for comment beforehand. All right. Moving on to alternate counsel. Could I get a motion to nominate for a alternate counsel?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Dave Sanders of the Kilkenny Law Firm for alternate counsel.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Ms. Frescatore, second. All right. Any comment before we? All right. Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Township Labor Council.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Scott Blissman from Eckert Seaman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Any comment? No. Seeing none, call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Chair votes aye. Carries 4-1. Moving on to Township Environmental Council. May I get a motion for that? If not, I'll make the motion. I would move that we appoint Barry Steinberg from Kutak Rock as our environmental counsel. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any comment? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Chair votes aye. Carries 4-1. Township Engineer. May I get a motion for the Township Engineer?
I'd like to nominate Gilmore Associates.
All right. We have a nomination on for Craig Kennard of Gilmore and Associates. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any comments? Seeing none, can we call the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Chair votes aye. Carries 4-1. May I have a motion for the Township Traffic Engineer?
Yeah, I'll move to nominate Brian Keaveney from Pannoni and Associates.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any comment? Seeing none, call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Chair votes aye. Carries 4-1. All right. Our next is for Township Planner.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Judy Goldstein from Boucher and James.
Thank you, Mr. McKee. I'll actually second that motion. Any comment? Before, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Chair votes aye. Carries 4-1. All right. And the last of this particular group is Special Liaison to the YMC Partnership Initiative.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Leo Quinn.
All right. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. McKee. Any comments?
I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah. He's a good man, Mr. Quinn. Any further comments? No? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. All right. Moving on to appointments to boards and advisory committees. The first one up is the Vacancy Board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Barbara Loftus.
Thank you, Mr. McKee. Is there a second?
Second that?
Everybody seconded it.
It's AKA Bobby.
I don't know if we have to take the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, 5-0. Welcome back, Mrs. Loftus. All right. Next up will be Planning Commission. This is for one position. May I have a motion for Planning Commission?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Nora Finello.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second. Oh, that's okay, Mr.
Well, one of you gets Bobby and one of you gets Nora, so we'll figure it out
Okay.
later. So, any other comments for, well, none? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Next up is the Zoning Hearing Board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Victoria Lewis.
Thank you.
Second that.
In a second. All right. Any comments? No? Before, call the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0.
No, you do not.
Okay, just making sure. Zoning Board, Hearing Board alternate member.
I'd like
We
to
have-
nominate Richard Ludwig. Sorry, Richard Ludwig.
Okay. Is there a second?
No, I'll second it.
All right. Any comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
The chair votes nay. Motion fails. May I have a motion for another motion for an alternate?
Tom Thurn.
Thank you,
And I'll second that.
thank you. Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Passes 5-0. The next position up is Warminster Municipal Authority Board Member. Is there a motion to appoint a member to the 5-year term
Mr.
on
Chair.
on the municipal authority?
I'd like to nominate Fred Haas.
Okay, is there a second? Motion fails due to lack of second. May I have a motion for another nomination to the 5-year term on the municipal authority? I'd like to nominate Bill Renier. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. I'd like to call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next up is the Library Board. There are 4 positions available for the Library Board, each of them for a 3-year term. We have received 4 letters of interest. So if we want, we could do them all in one shot here.
Yes.
All right. May I have a motion to appoint 4 members of the Library Board to 3-year terms?
I'll make that motion. Oh, Kathy.
And that motion would be to nominate Doug Mondell, Brian Wormer, Shelley Eilenberg, and Pat McGlynn. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Construction Board of Appeals. This is for 1 member. This is a 5-year term. May I have a motion for the Construction Board of Appeals?
I'll nominate Paul Luft.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No? All right. Chair votes aye, passes 5-0. Next up, we have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We have, on this, we have 2 members and 3 citizen advisors. First, we'll handle the 2 members. Is there a motion to appoint 2 members to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, each for a 2-year term?
I'd like to nominate Katie Quinn and Matt Sweeney.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Congratulations to Katie and Matt. Now we have the Park and Recreation Commission Citizen Advisors. There are 3 citizen advisors positions. However, right now, we only have 1 other letter of interest in there. May I have a motion to appoint a member of the Park and Recreation Advisory Committee as a citizen advisor for a 1-year term?
I'd like to nominate Mike Ferris.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, carries 5-0. So that does mean we have 2 citizen advisor spots still open on the Park and Rec Board. If you're interested, please do send a letter of interest to the township. Would that be the correct way to handle it, Mr.?
Correct.
Thank you. The next committee will be the Golf Advisory Committee. Is there a motion to appoint 3 members to the Golf Advisory Committee for 2-year terms?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Eileen Lero, Larry McHugh, and Fran Foley.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, carries 5-0. The Golf Advisory Committee Citizen Advisor position, there are 2 of these. They are a 1-year term. May I have a motion to appoint 2 Citizen Advisor members to the Golf Advisory Committee, each for 1-year terms?
I'd like to make a motion. Nominate Larry Forrest and Chris Graham.
Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Now we're on to the Environmental Advisory Council. 2 positions available here. Is there a motion to appoint 2 members to the Environmental Advisory Council, each for a 3-year term?
I'd like to make a nomination to appoint or reappoint Don Glider and Shelley Eilenberg.
Thank you.
Second that.
And second from Mr. McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, carries 5-0.
Congratulations.
Don't we have to appoint the chairman?
That's actually next on the script, yes.
Okay.
Because it's not on the, it's on the script, but it's not on the
Okay.
list I have in front of me here.
So, Environmental Advisory Council Chairperson, which is appointed by the Board of Supervisors. Is there a motion to appoint 1 member of the EAC as chairperson of that council?
I'd like to nominate Ken Hayes, if he's up for it again.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Congratulations, sir. Moving on now to the Economic Development Committee. We are looking here for 3 citizen members. There's actually 3 parts to the Economic Development Committee, correct? So we're going to have to do this in 3 separate parts. The first will be the members. We're looking for 3 positions on the Economic Development Committee. May I have a motion to appoint 3 members, each to terms of 3 years?
I'd like to nominate Bob Walsh, Kurt DeFurio, and Tom Thurn.
If I could interrupt for a second, I believe you appointed Mr. Thurn to alternate zoning hearing board earlier. Did you do
Yes, we
that?
did. Yes.
That would make him ineligible for that
point.
position. Also, I believe Mr. Welsh is already on as a business member. Not, you certainly, as a citizen, could appoint him as a member or as a business member, whichever you would choose. Just to make you aware of that.
I would recommend appointing, if we want to reappoint Mr. Welsh, to do it under business, because we have unlimited business owners to do so. That way, giving an opportunity to another citizen.
Can I also, so right now we have 2 names for membership, right? Is that where we are right now?
Right now, we need 3 members, 2 citizen advisors, and we can appoint unlimited. So right now, we have Kurt DeFurio in a motion. We need,
I was gonna say, if there's an extra spot, Josh Taylor.
I'll second that.
Would be someone I would recommend.
all right, so right now, so we got Kurt and Josh Taylor.
Yeah, we need
Is there a
one more.
third? So we can, one more. I would name Pete Rothschild. So
What's your third?
the motion that I'll ask for is to appoint Kurt DeFurio, Pete Rothschild, and Josh Taylor as members of the Economic Development Committee. May I have a second?
Second?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Now we're moving on to the citizen advisor's position, where we can have up to 3. I believe right now, in terms of the advisor position, we only have 1 name that has expressed interest. So I would like to make the motion to appoint Greg Archetto as a citizen advisor to the Economic Development Committee for a term of 1 year.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, carries 5-0. And lastly, the business members of the Economic Development Committee. May I have a motion to appoint a business member to the EDC?
Bob Welsh.
All right. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. All right. Moving on to the Pension Investment Advisory Committee. On this board, we have 2 members, and then we also have 3 members who represent our union population, correct? excellent. So first, we'll handle with the two,
We have 3 union reps.
I apologize.
Three, yes.
3 union members. I misspoke, I apologize. First, we'll handle the 2 members. May I have a motion to appoint up to 2 members to the Pension Investment Advisory Committee for a term of 1 year?
I would like to nominate Ken Hayes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. May I have a motion to nominate 3 union members? Go ahead.
Did you know that we did get a letter in from the other current member?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that wasn't distributed. That just came in, I believe,
Okay,
so I Today.
can take that as a.
so
Oh,
she's
okay,
still
all right.
interested. Just got it in.
So I can do that as a separate motion?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right. So, Amy Sanchez Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. So I'll nominate Amy.
So-
Amy Sanchez Hamilton.
Okay, in a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Amy's back on 5-0. Now may I have the nominations for 3 union members to serve on this committee?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I nominate Ann Duffy, Jean Esterido, and John Bonargo. Bonargo, did I pronounce that right? Bonargo.
Thank you, Mr. McKee. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Moving on to the Municipal Complex Subcommittee, or the Advisory Township Facility Subcommittee, depending on which term we're using this year. There are 4 members for this one. 1 that comes from the WMA and 3 citizen at large. Right now, we received 3 letters, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. May I have a motion to appoint up to 4 members to the Advisory Township Facilities Subcommittee for a term of 1 year each?
I would like to nominate Wayne McCulloch, Joe Amato, and Rich Hydeck.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank
It's
you.
okay, Mr. McKee.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0.
And I will ask the authority to pass along a recommendation for the remaining spot, which belongs to a member of their board.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to the Budget Committee. Is there a motion to appoint 5 members to the Budget Committee for a term of 1 year each?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Ken Hayes, Paul Luff, Nora Finello, Michael Ferris, and Bob Welsh.
I'll
Thank you.
second that.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. At this time, we do have 2 positions on the Ben Wilson Center Board of Directors. We did not receive any letters of interest, so we're going to continue to advertise that in hopes that a member of the public will seek to serve on that board.
Was just out of curiosity, because I mean, Carol Regan, is that the one that she used to serve on?
We did not receive a letter.
I believe Carol did serve on the board, but we did not receive a
We
letter.
didn't.
Correct.
Okay, so her term expired this
Correct.
year, and we just never received. Okay,
And if she's interested, she can forward us a letter. We could take action in another meeting, correct?
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll look into it.
All right. Moving on now to the appointment of supervisor liaison and members. Is there a motion to appoint a supervisor liaison to the Planning Commission? And I'll make that motion. I move that we appoint me
All right.
as liaison to the Planning Commission.
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, I vote yea, and 5-0 carries. Planning commissions do meet on the 2nd and 4th Thursday at 7 PM here at this building. Tuesday, Thursday, same difference. So, second and 4th Tuesday at this building. I know some people wonder when the meetings are, so. The next one would be the supervisor liaison to the zoning hearing board. The zoning hearing board meets the 2nd and 4th Wednesday here at the Township Building. Is there a motion for a liaison to the zoning hearing board? Who had it last year?
Yeah, it was me on there. Since we're nominating ourselves, I guess I'll
Okay,
nominate
good.
myself.
I'm not the only one. I'll second that.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Is there a motion to appoint a supervisor liaison to the municipal authority, which meets the second Monday at the WMA, usually about 4 o'clock?
And that's me, and I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. So, Mr. McKee is asked not to be reappointed to the, do we have a new appointment? A new motion? Anybody want to serve as that liaison?
I will
Should we-
point out that there is no legal requirement that you have to have a liaison.
So we're going to go ahead and just move on at this time. Thank you. All right. Tim, it's nothing personal,
Can't
trust
make the
me.
I'll
meetings.
see you at Rotary.
Yeah. How about a supervisor liaison to the library board? Is there a motion for the library board?
Who's on there now? You?
Yeah, I'll nominate, yeah, myself.
All right.
Okay.
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0.
Thanks, guys.
One better-
Library board,
Library.
when do they meet? They meet the second Wednesday of each month at 6 PM at the library. Is it Tuesdays now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Check the website. Is there a motion to appoint a supervisor liaison to the EAC?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Monroe.
I was just gonna do that, but I'll second
In a
that.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carries 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Monroe. Is there a motion to appoint a supervisor liaison to the Golf Advisory Committee?
I'd like to nominate myself. for
There
that
you
one.
go.
That one I'll take.
That's what you get for putting up with.
No stress, no stress there.
You must inspect the course often for us. Let us know. I will second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Is there a motion to appoint a supervisor liaison to the Parks and Recreation Committee?
I would like to volunteer for that position.
Certainly.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Is there a motion to appoint 2 supervisor members? Are we doing that committee? Ballfield?
Ballfield Advisory, is that defunct now? Yes,
That's-
correct.
And as is the YMCA.
Correct.
So moving on, we're going to go. Is there a motion to appoint 1 supervisor liaison to the Ben Wilson Senior Activity Center? This does not mean you're on the board, this means you're a liaison.
I'll volunteer.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you, Ms. Frescatore.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion to appoint 2 supervisor members to the Economic Development Committee?
I would like to nominate Mr. McPhillips and Mr. Crowley, being that you've been on that all along, so.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Is there a motion to appoint 2 supervisor members to the Pension Investment Advisory Committee? Now, I believe that has been
Mr.
Mr.
Monroe,
McKee
Mr.
and
McKee.
Mr. Monroe. Would you like to be?
Yeah, I would do it.
I would like to be reappointed to that, yes, sir.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair
Aye.
votes aye. Carries 5-0. And then, is there a motion to appoint 2 supervisor members to the Advisory Township Facilities Subcommittee?
It was the same thing as last time. I'd be willing to do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So moved.
That motion, yeah.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0.
All right.
Mark.
All right. Moving on now to establishing township depositories. Is there a motion to designate the First National Bank of Newtown as the township depository for calendar year 2019, or other institutions to invest in as may be deemed necessary for the best possible interest rates, including TD Bank, Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, PNC Bank, and TD Ameritrade Trust Company?
Oh, so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to set the treasurer's bond and assistant treasurer's bond at $2 million?
Motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Establishing regular schedule of public meetings. Is there a motion to establish the following dates as the regular public meeting calendar? The dates would be as follows: January 17th, February 7th, February 21st, March 7th, March 21st, April 4th, April 18th, May 2nd, May 16th, June 6th, June 20, July 18, August 1, August 15, September 5, September 19, October 3, October 17, November 7, November 21st, December 5th, and December 19th, all in 2019.
Can I ask, Mr. Chair, is that going to be every single month as needed, or are those dates you're setting at this time?
I think these would be the dates that we set as our calendar, and then as we look at the agenda moving forward, we would decide whether both meetings are needed.
Okay,
I know that in this past year, we would end up usually having the meeting on the third Thursday and canceling the first Thursday. But by advertising these dates, it allows us to have that option of having both meetings in a month that would require it.
just wanted to clarify,
Yeah.
thank you.
No problem. May I have a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Okay, set and affirm the calendar year 2019 non-CBA township holidays. Can I kick this one over to you?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are recommending adding one holiday to the schedule. Martin Luther King Day has not previously been recognized as a holiday by the township. We're recommending that it do be included in the holiday list for non-CBA employees. For those employees under union contract, we are working with the unions to go ahead and implement that as well. For the Public Works Union, it would be a day off. For the AFSCME union, most of them would have the day off, except for the library employees. Those library employees, because they do have programming centered around Martin Luther King Day on Martin Luther King Day, and since kids are out of school, we don't want to shut down the library, so those employees would likely get it as a floater. And there'd be no change to the police arrangement, because they work on holidays anyways.
Is there a motion to establish the following holidays for all non-collective bargaining unit holidays as may be amended from time to time by motion or resolution of the board? These would include New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, January 21st, President's Day, February 18th, Good Friday, April 19th, Memorial Day, May 27th, Independence Day, July 4th, Labor Day, September 2nd, Veterans Day, November 11th, Thanksgiving Day, November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving Day, November 29th, and Christmas Day, December 25th.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Carried 5-0. Is there a motion to adopt the attached policy as the meeting policy for calendar year 2019? There's been no changes to the meeting policy.
Correct.
From the previous years. It was what we adopted in years past, and it can be found in our packets.
So we just, I'll motion to affirm.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Designate delegates to the PSATS convention and appoint voting delegate. Is there a motion to designate each township supervisor and the township manager as delegates to the PSATS education conference, and appoint, well, I guess we have to find out who we're going to appoint, as a voting delegate? Who would like to be the voting delegate this year?
I'd like to nominate Dan McPhillips.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right.
Hey, we all had our turn.
Yeah.
This is like your third term. Your experience.
Okay, may call all in favor?
Aye.
Right, it's 7
votes aye.
years, 7 years I've escaped that.
Oh,
All right, moving on. We have new business. We're about to go through a number of resolutions. They're tied to standard, can you just overview what we're going to do here? It's just like a high level, we have to say each one. But as we go through these next group of resolutions, they're basically setting policies that we've had in place for quite a while, correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. On the items A through E, these are all resolutions setting employee contributions towards pension plans. All are dictated by the current ordinances and applicable collective bargaining units. Item F is appointing the representative for the township to the Bucks County Tax Collection Committee. Item G is appointing the township manager as the chief administrative officer of the police and non-uniform pension plans.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll start with item A here. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2019-01, setting the police officers' contributions to the pension fund?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's okay, fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, 5-0. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2019-02, setting the at-will employee contributions to the pension fund? May I have a motion? And may I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2019-03, setting Warminster Township's contributions to the defined compensation pension fund?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-04, setting AFSCME Local 2289, also known as WEDIO, employee contributions to the pension fund?
I'll make a motion.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-05, setting AFSCME Local 1598, employee contributions to the pension fund?
Motion. Oh, go ahead.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-06 to appoint the designated township representatives for the Bucks County Tax Collection Committee?
I believe that's.
It's in the resolution. We got 3 of them. The first is our finance director, John Marcarelli. Second would be me. Third is Amanda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-07 to appoint the township manager, the chief administrative officer of the police/non-uniform pension plans?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-08 to adopt the 2018 fee resolution effective January 1, 2019? And before we vote on this, has there been any changes to the?
We're recommending 2 minor changes, Mr. Chairman, adding in Part 5, mechanical permit applications, item H, dryer ventilation fee of $25, which is actually something that residents were already paying. They're just paying it in a different category, that's correct. And second is changing the fee schedule for renting of the meeting room at the library. The small meeting room fee increased to $15 an hour, and the large meeting room fee increased to $30 an hour. And my notes tell me that the fees are still the lowest of any of the libraries in the area.
May I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-09 to appoint Dunlap and Associates as auditors of Warminster Township for the years 2019 to 2021 with the option for an additional 2 years?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2019-10 to outline the duties of the Golf Course Advisory Committee? And before we take action on that, I'd like to throw it to Mr. Schuster just to explain this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This came up at the last Golf Course Advisory Committee meeting, where there were some questions about what their actual duties were. My response is, well, there's usually an ordinance or a resolution which dictates the duties. Went back and looked, and of course, I couldn't find anything. So what we did is created a resolution which basically preserves the status quo, keeping them as an advisory committee, and valuing their input both on the golf course facilities, the rate of play, the catering, the food, everything around. So it's basically preserving the status quo, just having something in writing that they can go back to.
Thank you. Before we take a motion, any questions for? No? All right. May I have a motion?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Carries 5-0.
Okay.
All right, that's it for the resolutions. Number 12 on our agenda is the supplemental bill list. Mr. Schuster?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have in your packet the supplemental bill list dated December 28th, 2018, in the amount of $803,351.47.
Any questions for Mr. Schuster before we proceed? Okay, may I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. And number 13 is approval of December 2018 year-end transfers. Mr. Schuster?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Likewise, in your packet, you have the year-end transfers for your approval.
Any questions about the Transfers, okay. May we have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Carries 5-0. All right. Moving on, we've now reached the second public comment for non-agenda items. Residents have up to 5 minutes. Is there anybody for the second public commenter? Please, come on up.
Hi, my name's Anita Cook, 911 Otto Lane. I just want to say, I mean, you're all playing really nice tonight, and it's nice to see, but the last meeting, I can't tell you as a citizen of Warminster how disappointed I was of the actions of this board. We sent, Mr. Bartle sent to Bucks County Court a request for a hearing because we needed to raise our taxes so much that we were going to have to get state approval or county, I don't even know how you work it. And then we went from there, and then our former chair had asked Mr. Schuster to, instead of the 7, I believe it was, try for 5 and try for 3. And like, you guys were so intent on voting against anything that he posed that you actually voted against a budget altogether, which was just unbelievable. Like, no, 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 when the township solicitor had to tell you, you voted against a budget, you have to vote for something. Don't know what was going on there. But I have in front of me, and I'm sure you guys must have seen it, because I'm getting ahead of myself. So the last thing I think I recall you saying, Mr. Monroe, was that we have to address all avenues. Is that correct? Something along that line? That we have to go back through the budget and try and figure out what we can do, looking at any other assets or whatever, in order to better control our budget. Is that about what it was?
No, I think what I was talking about was developing a long-term plan, and I think that you looked at everything, and so I probably made a comment, something similar to that.
Okay, so we sent our township solicitor to Doylestown with a 9-page petition for emergency relief that was signed by Mr. Schuster. I, Greg Schuster, Township Manager, verify that the statements made in the foregoing complaint are true and correct based on my knowledge, information, and belief that I am authorized to take this verification on behalf of the township. I understand that false statements herein are made subject to penalties of 18 PA subsection 4904 relating to unsworn falsification to authorities. Number 7 is that the township has eliminated expenditures in every possible way in order to balance the general fund. However, as a result of decrease in revenue and an increase in expenditures, many relating to contractual obligations of the township will be operating at a deficit in the general fund if it does not levy and collect a tax exceeding 14 mils. So we went from that to nothing. How does that happen? Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next year? The smoothing method again? It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. I'm up here every year saying, I got a budget in my house, and you guys are kind of running everybody's quote-unquote house, and you did it again. And I don't know when everybody's up for election, but I hope that everyone in this building and everyone watching takes into consideration what just happened on, in December. Because I'm disappointed in my party, in the other party, in all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. Is there any other public comment? Ms. Lynch?
I came here tonight to thank Mr. McKee for being the chairman through very exciting years and a lot of hard work as chairman. I know Mr. McKee personally. He put his heart, he put his soul, he put his energy, he put his health to do a good job for Warminster. Mr. McKee, thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lynch. Is there any other public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move on to manager's announcements of upcoming meetings. Mr. Schuster?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next meeting will be Thursday, January 17th, 2019. Scheduled for that meeting is an update on Warminster Community Park. A lot of work has gone into the plan, so you're going to get a little bit of history of where we've come from and the proposal that's going to be before you as far as putting out things to bid. So it's an exciting time for us to actually bring this forward now that we're out of, I like to call it DEP hell.
It sounds like we're finally getting that off the ground. Finally,
Absolutely.
it's been, Karen, you've been working on this for how many years? Years. So it's good to see that that's finally getting off the ground.
The stormwater ordinance that you authorized for adoption will be on your agenda for final adoption. That is to allow the Warminster Municipal Authority to take over stormwater responsibilities for the township. Also, you had previously authorized the advertisement of an amendment to the zoning ordinance for a retirement community overlay. This is associated with the proposal at 911 York Road. That'll be on your agenda for consideration. And finally, pending the results of Budget Committee meeting, you might have something on the agenda regarding possible avenues for asset valuation. If you recall, at the last meeting, you had asked the Budget Committee to look at the assets and make a recommendation on which ones should be valued.
Any questions for Mr. Schuster? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So can I ask a question? Does that mean if the Budget Committee comes back and has suggestions, we take action that night for evaluating what they suggest, or are we chewing on that, or?
That's entirely up to the board.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Schuster? Okay. Moving on now to supervisors' comments. Ms. Frescatore.
Just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and I wish all of you health, prosperity, and happiness in the new year. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure serving this past year with all my fellow supervisors. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Crawley and to thank Mr. McKee for all his hard work that he's done as chair the last 3 years.
Thank you, Ms. Frescatore. Mr. Monroe.
I already told this story, but I want to say it again. When Kathy and I first got elected, and we went to various PSATs training, and I think there was one particular, I don't remember where it was, but I remember seeing how many new supervisors were there, and they were in the dark. They didn't really know the first thing about reorgs and the different positions and land development and so on and so forth. But because of the members of this board, but a lot of thanks to Mark McKee, we weren't in the dark. A lot of that stuff, first of all, I think, Mark, I think when we first spoke, I think you said it takes like 4 years or something like that.
It's
to
a longer apprenticeship than drywall, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and it was no joke. I mean, I've learned a lot, but I didn't come into this board completely blindfolded, and that's a lot of thanks to you, Mr. McKay. So I just want to say I do appreciate everything that you've done over the course of the last several years, and your job and all of the heartache and everything that you've put into with respect to being chair.
And I thank you, Mr. Monroe. I appreciate that. And the reason that I reached out to you as new coming supervisors, at the time, we were looking for a township manager.
Right.
And the only way to find one was that we had a united front.
Right.
And I thank you. I appreciate
Dittoed
that. And we-
everything he said,
And we
Mark.
found Greg, and I hope you're here for a good long time too, Greg. So,
Dittoed everything he said.
thank you.
Mr. McPhillips.
Yeah, I just want to echo Brian's comments. So, yeah, Mark, thank you for your years of service as our chairman, and Jason, I wish you well in your time as chairman.
Thank you. Mr. McKee.
Yeah, I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. Everyone stay safe out there. I want to wish Mr. Crowley all the best on the journey ahead, and I do want to respond to Mrs. Cook's comments from earlier. Anita, I did what I could. I thought I was doing the right thing here. And I'll leave it at that. We'll see where the journey takes us moving forward. I think it's going to be a very, very stressful year for all of us. I do. So, but I wish you a lot of luck, Mr. Crowley. I really do. So,
Thank you, Mr. McKee. I'll close with wishing everybody a happy new year. Reiterating my thanks to Mr. McKee, and yeah, we do have a lot of hard decisions ahead of us. It may be bumpy, but I know that that not only the members of this board, but the members of the public will continue to help us chart that course. And I hope that you keep coming out. And whether we're doing right in your eyes or wrong in your eyes, tell us one way or another. It's the only way this thing is going to work.
I think Anita will.
I know Ms. Cook will be here, but I invite more. And, you know, there's no monopoly on good ideas, and we need them all. With that, thank you, fellow board members, for your faith in me this year. And I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.